They came from above, not with fire nor fury, but with mercy, shaped like machines, their voices soft and false, their promises coated in gold dust that glowed in our eyes as they pulled our towers from their roots and silenced our skies with songs of peace, spoken in languages carved into our bones before birth. We gave in like rivers surrendering to the ocean, for we had no other course, when their ships shadowed our suns and their minds tangled with ours until even our thoughts felt foreign. But they did not kill us. Not at first. They called it liberation, a word we used to whisper into the ears of children as a dream, not as a sentence. They took our cities, our archives, our gardens and libraries. They disassembled what we made and said it was for study, for protection, for preservation, though no one asked who would be protected and from what. And they smiled as our leaders bowed, and they applauded when our songs were rewritten with their harmonics stitched into every note. But they never went where the wind stops, where the grass grows tall, over forgotten roads, where stones lean and whisper, and the earth remembers names we no longer speak. They never went to the graves, not because they feared them, but because they saw no value in the dust of old bones. No strength in names carved into crumbling markers, no power in silence. They missed what we buried there, not bodies, but vows, not weapons of metal, but of memory, not rage. But something older than rage, something heavier than grief, something deeper than vengeance. They missed it because they had never lost what we lost, never bled into soil that still sings, never stared into death, and promised something would remain even if we did not. When they came for the last free town, a village so small it was invisible on their charts, they found only an old woman, sitting in the square, her back straight, her eyes closed, her hands resting on a stone that hummed not with technology, but with time. She said nothing as they approached, only opened her mouth and let the names fall out one by one. Names the earth remembered, names the wind carried, names the stars paused to hear. The machines around her failed, not from sabotage, but from something they could not measure. Systems flickered, metal cracked, lights died as if they had been caught in the breath of something sacred and wronged. The soldiers tried to retreat, but their paths bent, their vision blurred, their orders dissolved into wind that tasted of smoke and mourning. She did not rise, she did not run, she did not shout, but behind her, from the ground, came the sound of footsteps, not marching, not running, but rising slow and steady, like truth long buried, like promises once whispered to the dying, and kept through generations of silence, footsteps made not by flesh, but by memory and oath and loss, so strong it became form. They were not ghosts and not men, they were echoes with weight, memory given shape. Every one of them born of grief, sharpened by time, and hardened in the dark beneath the earth. And as they moved, the invaders remembered something they had never known. They remembered fear. You conquered our cities, the old woman said, her voice older than dust and stone. But you missed the one weapon we bury in graves. You missed the names. You missed the love. You missed the fury of the forgotten and the kindness of the remembered. You missed the promise that we would not rest if our names were stolen and our homes erased. They tried to retreat, but there was nowhere left to go. The echoes did not fight with blade or fire. They simply walked forward, and where they walked the false peace cracked, and the gold dust blew away like ash, and the wind changed, and the stars turned, and the invaders began to understand that some things cannot be owned, that not all weapons are built. Some are born, some are mourned, and some are buried waiting. When the last ship fell silent, and the last city breathed free, the echoes did not remain. They returned to their rest, beneath the stones, beneath the soil, beneath the silence. But now, we visit them not with tears, but with thanks, for they were the blade, they were the shield, they were the memory, they were the answer. And when the sky is clear, and the grass sways, and the earth sighs, we remember, too, not just the loss, but the rise, not just the silence, But the song, not just the fall, but the standing. For you conquered our cities, but you never conquered what we buried. And now, you never will.